All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's good to see you all. My name is Sue Hooper. I am a practitioner here at CSL Minneapolis. Those of you joining us at home, thank you. It's good to have you with us. It's a beautiful day. It's going to be a beautiful afternoon. I hope we can all get out there and enjoy it. So we have a statement of truth here at CSL Minneapolis, and our statement of truth is that there is a power for good in the universe, greater than we are, and you can consciously use it. And our mission is to teach, demonstrate, and inspire a positive spiritual approach to living. Now's a good time to check your phones. I hope I turned mine off. I hardly have it on, but make sure your cell phones are turned off or silenced. And we're happy to have Victoria and Carl with us today to sing. So take it away.
Hello. Oh. Good morning.
You're definitely on.
I am on, and I'm ready. All right. I'm ready if you are. Something great has happened in love has taken hold and it won't let us go of us now. Something here is calling us forward, upward motion. We're drops in one ocean. Hold on. Will you rise up with me today? Lift up your voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Let the dream of your highest calling be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a chance that we're all creating. It's the moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. Oh, oh yeah. Every day's a chance you can do something amazing, to feel your passion blazing in sunshine, yeah. Paint with every vision and dance in new directions. Explode to new heights in your mind. I will rise up with you today. Lift up my voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Let the dream of your highest calling be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a chance that we're all creating. It's the moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. Yeah. One dream, one voice, one heart, one world. One dream, one voice, one heart, one world. One dream, one voice, one heart, one world. Let the dream of your highest calling be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share the gifts with the world that's waiting for a chance that we're all creating. It's the moment for our greatness. Let's stand together. Let the dream of your highest calling be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with the world that's waiting for a chance that we're all creating. It's the moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now.
Beautiful, thank you. All right, we have our group reading. Let's read it together. I am ready to deepen my conviction in the power and presence for good. I am ready to apply it in my daily life. I am ready to receive God's highest blessings. I am ready to live from a higher level of beingness. I am ready to be a transformative light in the world, and so it is. Let's all take a deep breath together, sit back in our chairs, close your eyes if you'd like. And feel that energy of oneness, the oneness of God, the oneness of all of us being manifestations of God, living in concert with each other. I know that God's love, God's goodness flows through each one of us. And I know that our hearts are open to whatever God brings us today, whether it be here at CSL Minneapolis in Reverend Joanne's words, in Victoria and Carl's music, or with seeing a new face or an old friend. It's an energy that holds us together, brings us together, and so it is. Rose, would you come up and light the flames of faith, please?
Yay, Rose.
Yay, Rose. Yay. Girl Scout Cookie Seller of the Year. Yeah. This center is based on the knowledge that there is one great universal presence, and we acknowledge that there are multiple names and paths to this one, which unifies us, not divides us. Please join us as we honor the unifying nature of spiritual thought and experiences as we light the flames of faith, acknowledging all people and all faiths with representation of a few of the more traditional paths. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. And I invite you now to take a moment and acknowledge the flame within, honoring oneness and mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. Thank you, Rose. Dee Dee is our reader this morning. If you'd come up.
First, I just want to say we're in a class together. There's a lot of us that did foundations together, and now some of us are in another class. And Raymond Charles Barker, is that right? I find him difficult to read, but anyway, Charlie says. And hello, Charlie, if you're on Zoom, and hello to all the Zoomers. The universe delights in working through me and speaking through me. That's really, the delight part I really like. So this is from, Joanne had me read from a collected essays of George Bendel. Now, she has every book that's ever been written, I think, by Science Mind. But he... oh, wait, I had a note here. He was a Science Mind minister who was a friend of Ernest Holmes and spent the last 2 years with Ernest in the last 2 years of his life. So here we go. Living prosperity. A plant will die without sunshine or water. It needs to be sustained and maintained. When the land is sour, we use artificial means of fertilizing to sweeten it up. A person without the right vitamins may get beriberi, scurvy, pellagra, I don't know what that is. And a mind is not poverty wait a minute, and a mind without nourishment sickens and becomes neurotic. But the sin is to be poor in God's life. It's a sin to be poor in God's body. It's a sin to be poor in God's teaching. That's why we need a firm conviction of the prosperity of living. God's law says, if you are aware of me, I am aware of you. I am always here, turn unto me. Jesus said, come unto me, all you who travail and are heavy laden, and I will give you comfort. I really like that. So the potential for greatness resides within each of us and cannot be expressed in our work, at home, or elsewhere, in our social life, or in our church, until we accept this presence. Ernest told me that there are two very important aspects of a gift, the giver and the receiver. God is a willing and generous benefactor, but his gifts of health, prosperity, and peace of mind are lost without our willingness to accept them. So it's the ability we have that we usually don't use. To him who hath the flexible mind, there is unlimited wealth in all areas. And we've been talking about wealth and richness and stuff in class as well as in our services. We pray in the opposite. Instead of condemning the existing conditions, for example, making a disease a law unto itself, we see and accept the good. Basically, we are always thinking, we are always creating. Constructive thinking expands, blesses, positively affects every area of your life. Destructive thinking decreases, curses, and deteriorates it. So we might as well begin at some point to choose to think constructively and prosperously, and to pray more, to meditate more, and to seek to accept and bless the thing that you think isn't. For example, you're good. We need to switch the unhealthy thinking to the healthy thinking. For example, practice thinking what you think God is thinking through you. Isn't that? I love that. Not what someone else had told you to need to think about. I'm just going to repeat that. For example, practice thinking what you think God is thinking through you. What's beautiful. Direct the thoughts to the pleasant, loving things. Imagine new experiences, new reactions, new self-images. Limber up the rigidity of the thinking. And most importantly, think in the other man's moccasins, not what someone thinks he is thinking about. Lukewarm water will not take a steam locomotive anywhere, nor will lukewarm purpose lift us to noticeable heights and achievements. That's really good too, isn't it? This last paragraph. Ernest Holmes said, I am grateful for my abundant supply, and I give sincere thanks for it. I have decreed it, and it's established under me. I use it freely in the service of God and man, knowing that as it goes out in every way to love and helpfulness to others, it is constantly being blessed, and that further abundance will take its place as fast as it's needed. I can almost feel him saying it. He must be here. Now I go out and act accordingly. I express the attitude, I feel and look prosperous. I believe in my prosperity of life, and so I prosper. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Dee Dee. All right, Tori and Carl.
This next song is called Allowing. It's all about allowing peace within, in absolute surrender, so serenity begins. For when the storm subsided and calm becomes a wave, it's all about allowing it to stay. It's all about allowing love to flow. It's setting down your burdens and just simply letting go. For as you cease to struggle and love pours through your heart, it's all about allowing it to start. Now feel it warm and shining, new with promise, strong, undying. Love different than any you have known. And now the seed is sown. It's all about allowing change to show, then living in the moment like it's all you'll ever know. And though it won't be easy, you can truly say you tried, for it's all about allowing it inside. And now the seed is sown. It's all about allowing love to flow. It's setting down your burdens and just simply letting go. For as you cease to struggle and love pours through your heart, it's all about allowing it to start.
Thank you. That was beautiful. And now we're going to have some inspirational words from Reverend Joanne. Yes.
Thank you, Sue, and thank you, Victoria. That was great. Carl. Okay. So this month, we're talking about wealth and abundance, and particularly last week, Reverend Debbie talked about what does it mean to be wealthy, and today we're talking about what does it mean to be wealthy part 2. But before we do that, this month we're also doing a little review of who we are. What is Science of Mind all about? What's this Center for Spiritual Living all about? And oof, there it is. That's what we call our teaching symbol in the whole Center for Spiritual Living. And I really like this. I think this is what Ernest Holmes meant when he said, this is all we're selling. If you can grasp this, you know, you get a gist of what we're doing here. If you look at the circle, well, we can't put God in a circle. We know that. You know, you don't confine God. But the idea is no beginning and no end. That's the God stuff. No beginning and no end is the circle. And then it's divided into 3 different parts. That first part is what we consider our consciousness. This is where we make our decisions. We set our intentions. We plant our seed thoughts. This is so important. We take this to the prisons, and you know they've never seen this before. And when I can get Monty to it, he can draw a very nice circle like that. So we share that with the prisoners, and it's new to most of them that how important, how powerful their thoughts are. So the second part is what we might call law, soil, or where that seed thought goes into the soil, just like a farmer. When a farmer plants a seed, it goes into the soil. And what happens? That soil is neutral. The soil doesn't say, oh, no, we didn't want string beans. We got to kick those seeds out. We want radishes this year. That's not what happens. Whatever we give to that soil or the law is what is the form or the effect. That's what our lives look like. If you wonder what you've been thinking, look around. Look around at your finances. Look around at your relationships. Look around at your health. Our thoughts, our seed thoughts, went into law and outpictured. And the beauty of it is we can always, if we don't like what we see, we can change our thoughts. Change your thinking, change your life. The V represents the idea that Spirit of God comes down into our lives. That Spirit, that very Spirit that created everything and everyone, is the Spirit that lives, dwells, and has its being within each and every one of us. And so that's kind of what we talk about here at our Centers for Spiritual Living. It's called the creative process. It's powerful. If you take nothing else away, I even made a little picture just in case that didn't come up there. You see, you can do this by yourself. Monty does it a lot more beautifully than I do when we're in prison. So anyway, so this week we're talking about our focus on looking at abundance from a deeply spiritual perspective. Looking at abundance from a deeply spiritual perspective. And what does it really mean to be healthy? Last week, Reverend Debbie talked about this passage, the one about the camel passing through the needle. It's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is for a wealthy man to enter the kingdom of heaven. And for a long time, that passage was kind of used to keep people in poverty. Like, oh, I can't be rich because if I'm rich, I can't get to heaven. Well, that's not the truth at all. When we look at the verses before and ahead and the other things that are said and the reality of life, I think it boils down to something like this. Don't look to your wealth as your God, but look to God as your wealth. And when you do, you are wealthy in immeasurable ways. Don't look to you, don't think that this, and you see this all the time. Look at the people that are extremely wealthy, and many of them are miserable and unhappy. Especially people that get it fast, like the lottery. It doesn't work. Doesn't work. So look to God for your good. Mary Morrissey, who is a New Thought minister, said she's got a class that goes, I think it's a year-long class, and she's got the curriculum for it, and she says this: ideas are God's currency. Ideas are God's currency. And in his book, Prosperity, the Unity minister and founder of the Unity Church, Charles Filmer, says, God's first currency is ideas. And he talks about King Solomon and how King Solomon was told by God, ask me for a gift. And what King Solomon asked for was wisdom, ideas. God is mind, and his gifts are not material but spiritual, not things but ideas. He asked for and received ideas and then developed them himself. Because he was wise, all the world came to his court seeking wisdom and bringing riches in exchange for it. And this is the thing that is available to all of us, is God's wisdom. It's available for our asking. One of the affirmations you might think around this is something simple like, I open my mind to rich ideas and rich results. I think I heard, Alicia, that you said you like that word rich versus abundance. I open my mind to rich ideas and rich results. I'm going to give you an example. Many of you, some of you have heard this example, but that's okay. You're going to hear it again because it's good to hear. I was a stockbroker for 34 years, and I had my ups and downs in the business. And something that happened was I like to get excited about little companies, buy a bunch of stock for myself and for my customers. It was fun because you get in on the ground floor and it's exciting. So then the earnings report comes out, right? Ugh, not what we were looking for. Stock goes down. I'm like, oh, no, I got to call these people. My wealth has gone down. Their wealth has gone down. I'm feeling bad. I'm like, where's God? Am I alone in this? Did he leave me stranded with this earnings report I have to deal with? I was very... it was just taking a toll on me. So I sat down one day at home on a chair and I said, God, you know, I'm having a problem with this. And what I'd really like is a sign from you, a clear sign that you're still with me. You're on my side. And so I thought, well, this is about money. So I thought, why don't I ask for a sign having to do with money? I thought, well, okay, I got an idea. I'm going to ask for a sign from God, and that sign will be, I will unexpectedly come across a $100 bill. Now, I've never unexpectedly come across a $100 bill in my life. They're not in my pocket. I know, if I put a $100 bill in my sweater pocket, hang it up till spring, I would remember that $100 bill. So this has never happened to me. And I just thought, well, that'll be a good test to see if God is going to give me this sign. But I was comfortable that God is within me and God is for me. And so I thought, that's it. So we were living, at the time, right on the river across from downtown. So I was walking across the Hennepin Avenue Bridge to go to work. So dutifully, as I walked, I'm watching the sidewalk thinking, well, I'll find the $100 bill here someplace. So watching, going back and forth a few days, and it was around Easter time. And my family was going to spend Easter in Wisconsin with some sisters. I was spending Easter in the city with my husband's family. And I was just kind of thinking, I want to see my family a little bit too. So I called around and I said, let's meet at Cassidy's in Hinckley. Well, my mom and dad would always give us these certificates to have dinner at Cassidy's in Hinckley because they knew it would get us up there. So anyway, I had these certificates. So I thought, well, I'll just, offer to buy my mom and sister and my sisters and a couple cousins, whatever. We had a table, my kids. And so we had a nice dinner at Cassidy's in Hinckley. And we're out in the parking lot. I'm getting ready to get in my car to go home. And my daughter and her girlfriend at the time were in the pickup next to me, and they were ready to go back too. And they rolled down their window, and I said, well, thank you for coming up here and have a safe trip back. And my daughter, Chris, said, Mom, don't let that money fall out of your pocket. I reached in my jacket pocket. There's an unexpected $100 bill. And I didn't say to her, this is a sign from God right here. I didn't say that at the time. I just pondered it in my heart, thanked God on the way back, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. And I said to the kids, well, what is that all about? And they said, because we love you. They've always loved me. I've never gotten a $100 bill before. So I was very happy about that. Well, take this out another week or so. I come home from a meeting, walk into my bedroom. On my nightstand, there are neatly piled 3 $100 bills. And I say to my husband, where did this money come from? And he said, oh, I went to the casino and that's your share of the winnings. Now, Gary didn't go to the casino. That wasn't his shtick. He didn't do that. But he was at the casino and he won, and that was my share. And so I'm thinking to myself, this is God having a little bit of a chuckle. You know, you think $100 is a big deal. Here's 100, here's 100, here's 100, here's 100. Are you okay? You know, this is how it works. Abundance is ours. That power within is ours to speak our word for our good. Charles Fillmore has a book called Prosperity, and he's got a 3-step plan for bringing forth manifestation of God's abundant supply. Now, I did it my way, and it's pretty much the way he did it his way. You know, you have to have confidence that there is a source. You have to believe in that. So he says this. He says, step 1, the universal, eternal substance of God, which is the source of all, and it can be discerned and relied on. You got to believe that. If you don't believe that, really, it's hard to manifest what you want to manifest here. You have to understand there is a power in the universe for good, and you can consciously use it. Primarily. And the thing is, the more we use it, the easier it is to know that. I think it's Ernest Holmes said, or maybe it was me, that said, all I know is what I've experienced. All I know is what I've experienced. So the more we use this philosophy, get answers to our prayers, know that we are not alone, the easier it is to do it again and again. There was a Sunday school teacher, and she was into the 23rd Psalm, and she kind of checking out her Sunday school kids, and she said, who knows how to recite the 23rd Psalm, the whole thing? Well, this little 4.5-year-old girl said, I do. And so the teacher thought, I don't think so. But she calls a little girl up in front. She said, okay. She said, recite it. And the little girl says, the Lord is my shepherd, that's all I want. And she sat down. So in a nutshell, that's the truth. That's all we want. That's all we need, that higher source. The Lord is our shepherd, God as our source. So we must direct our thoughts completely and away from a notion that we're dependent on material things, quarterly reports, whatever happens to be bugging us at the time. So that's step 1, just remembering that we have a source. Step 2 is, he says, a firmament must be established. And I think he's talking about installing a belief in a desire that is a knowing. We can know it. We're not believing, we know it. And how do we know it? Because of our experiences. And how important that is. When the Depression took place, 1929, the crash happened, and then nobody had any money after that. Everybody was broke, and people had jumped out of buildings, and it was a horrible time. But you know, the board game Monopoly had been available before then, but when that Depression hit, it sold like hotcakes. People enjoyed playing with that money, landing on Park Place and buying the hotel or the houses or whatever they did. They could, they were seeing it in their mind. They were having that experience. So they were beginning to know. They were beginning to have a feel for what abundance could be like. Isn't that interesting how that sold like hotcakes during that time? So people could have that experience. So I like to, one of my favorite expressions is, despite appearances, there's a power that's working for you. Despite appearances, I know there's something moving in the unseen for my greater good. Isn't that lovely? Despite appearances, no matter what is happening, I know there's something moving for my greater good. So we have to have that desire and know that there is good for us. That good is at hand. And the third step is forming of this substance into tangibility. One of the New Thought writers, really, I love to read his stuff, is Neville Goddard. He liked to go by one name, Neville. And he wrote a lot of books that all centered around the idea of the imagination. Because, you know, when we do prayer treatment for people, when we do affirmative prayer, we ask people, what's your problem? What's going on in your life? What do you want me to pray for? And then they tell us, well, this or that, the relationship or money or whatever it is. And we say, okay, I think I understand what the situation is. Now I'm going to ask you this. How would the situation look if it were good? How would it look if it were perfect? Explain that to me. Talk to me about that. And that's what I claim for them. And so that's what Goddard is all about, just using our imagination to see that end result, see that end vision. Build a picture in your mind. In his book, Prosperity, Fillmore says, if the other steps of understanding and faith have not been taken first, there will be no demonstration, for the above creative law is orderly and works by progressive steps. First, you got to know that there's a power in the universe, okay? Then, the last step then is that visualization, visualizing what it is. So, how wealthy are we already? Well, we're wealthy in God's substance. It's everywhere. We don't have to beg for it. It's there. It's here within us. And we're wealthy in ideas. We live in a sea of possibilities everywhere. And we're wealthy in knowing how the creation unfolds in our life. We're wealthy to have this knowledge of this creative process. If there's something that you desire in your life, you plant that thought seed into that soil, that universal soil that gives you what you intended to proclaim. So, one day this guy, rich guy, wealthy guy, he wanted his son to understand about people that didn't have money. He thought it would be important for him to see the other side of the track, so to speak. So he takes him to this farm, and they spend a day and a night on this farm. And, he was a very poor family. They didn't have a lot of stuff, but that guy wanted his son to experience this. So on the way back, he said to his son, well, son, how was the trip? Oh, great, Dad. It was just great. Well, Dad says, well, what did you learn? And he said, well, let's see. I learned that we got one dog at home, and they've got 4 dogs. He said, we have a pool that reaches the middle of the garden. They have a creek, no end to it, just keeps going. We have imported lamps in the garden, and they have a whole star full of skies, of stars. Our patio reaches to the front yard, but they have the whole horizon. And when the little boy finished saying this, his dad was kind of speechless. He said, wow, I didn't think that's what he was going to learn. And the kid says, thanks, Dad, for showing me what real wealth really is. Didn't work out the way the dad thought, but probably better. So let's revel in our own real health. And what I'd like you to do at this point is just get comfortable in your chairs, take a deep breath, and I would like to speak my word in a spiritual mind treatment revolving around the words I've spoken. And as we relax in this oneness with the source and know that that source is all there is available to each and every one of us. And we know that source is all good. It is peace, it is joy, it is love, it is balance, it is order. It has the perfect solution to any perceived dilemma in my life. And I know I am one with it. It experiences life in, through, and as its creation, in, through, and as me, giving power to the words that I speak. So right now I declare these words. I remember to remember my source. I know it can be relied on. I remember the truth about my life, and I easily see this higher vision. Despite appearances, I know something is moving in the unseen for my greater good. And I follow Neville's ideas of using my imagination. I build a perfect picture in mind of the good that I desire. And I'm grateful for this creative process. Ernest Holmes says that's all we need. I'm grateful that my higher power experiences life in, through, and as me. And I release these words now to that beneficent conspiracy which does the work. So it is.
What kept me sad was a story in my head about what I never had and what I never said. But I can sing a song the flowers gave to me. It helps me to be strong. It helps me to be free when I'm walking with you. I'm walking with God when I'm talking with you. I'm talking with God when I'm praying with you. I'm praying with God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. When I'm laughing with you, I'm laughing with God. When I'm singing with you, I'm singing with God. In the arms of my friends, I'm in the arms of God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. There is a road, a journey we must take. It starts from within. It's just a thought away. I can sing a song that the flowers gave to me, and it helps me to be strong. It helps me to be free when I'm walking with you. I'm walking with God. When I'm talking with you, I'm talking with God. When I'm praying with you, I'm praying with God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. When I'm laughing with you, I'm laughing with God. When I'm singing with you, I'm singing with God. In the arms of my friends, I'm in the arms of God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. If God is all there is, then everything is God. If God is all there is, everything is God.
Thank you, Victoria and Carl, and thank you, Reverend Joanne. along the same lines of abundance and richness, I'd like to invite Colleen up.
I would like everyone from this winter's foundation class to come up and join me. I would like the community to acknowledge the process that all these students and more who aren't able to be here today have made. It was a wonderful journey. I mean, I was so inspired, and Joan and I have talked often about how enriched we were through guiding this class, that we would consider doing it again next winter. And so I would just like to take a chance to introduce you to some folks that you know very well and some new faces. Dee Erickson, Dee, you all know very well. Sarah Thorpe is here all the way from Bird Island. Yay! Alyssa Nelson, you know her from around here. Rach Cass. You have Joan Binder. Okay. Annette, yes, Annette Glabe. Monty Schultz. Joanne Prokish. Kathy Kornblum. And Heather, I didn't know your last name. Oh, Lehman. Okay. Lehman. Heather Lehman. So if any of you would just like to say something about your experience, please feel free. Joan, and we are missing Dolores Johnson and Jen Keating, just those. Oh, Dennis and Kathy, yes, O'Connell. Yeah. It was a great class, and I just really encourage you all to consider doing it. It was a repeat for some of us, 3 for me. And it's just a great way to just dive in and soak in all the goodness. So thank you all very much. Yes.
The connection was profound. I mean, it was like a miracle.
I just got a lot of the knowledge, instead of like a surface knowing or level, it really deepened my feelings and knowledge and anyway.
I was able to close a lot of old wounds and get really healing. I was able to get connection with the church and decided that I want to proceed in practitioner. So it was a lot. Before the class, I didn't know where I needed to be, but now I do.
So I'm kind of deep into a different but very similar spiritual group, and so I signed up for social and maybe another skill or two in my toolbox, and I just got so much more. Ended up going through something during the class, and just the class just took me right through that in a really profound way. So I'm really grateful.
I just wanted to get to know a little bit more, but it was really great because no matter how exhausted I was coming into it, I always left just like on fire. Like it was very spiritually filling for sure.
That's good. That's saying a lot. Wow.
We were a really great group. There was just so much love and support, and people seemed like they felt safe to go really deep, and it was great.
Thank you, Joan.
Thank you again for the support this community provides so that we can have experiences like this. Thanks.
Thank you, Colleen and everyone. So that's a little bit of what, very little bit, it's a lot too, of what Centers for Spiritual Living Minneapolis can do for you guys. And to keep us going, we need your gifts and offerings. And so if we can go into your little flyer for today and pull out your offering envelope. Put that on your heart. And I said gifts and offerings, gift of teaching, gift of love from Colleen and Joan, from each of you in that class, gift of love from Reverend Joanne today. And so not only financially, but heart-wise as well. So let's just open ourselves up to the goodness of God, knowing that giving and receiving is cyclical, and that as we give, so shall we receive. And so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
We bless the gifts and we bless the givers. Thank you. All right, announcements. Does anyone have any announcements? I have one. All right, Rose was at 1,295? 94. Rose sold 1,294 packages of cookies this spring. And we are happy to report that CSL Minneapolis purchased 96 packages of cookies. So Joanna and I will be writing a check out for $96 to CSL Minneapolis. Yeah, we're happy to do that. Thank you for everyone who purchased cookies. And we'll be doing it again next year, yes? Rose, do you have something you want to add to that? What, honey?
She had 33 boxes that were donated to a local food pantry.
Yes. Yes. And we took those in last week, so that's exciting. No other announcements? We're good? All right, then I better catch up here and see what I'm doing. All right, we have a spiritual gift for you guys, and that is the gift of prayer. We have our practitioners here today. If you could all stand up if you're a practitioner. We have Reverend Joanne, Celeste, Colleen, Dee Dee, Ray back there, myself. We are all here to pray for you guys, should you like us to do that for you. Bodhi's saying hi to everybody. Affirmative prayer is our gift to you on Sunday and throughout the week. If you want to go online, cslminneapolis.org, you can request prayer there as well. But we're happy to sit here after service and speak with you and listen to what you need prayer for. You can fill out a prayer request form up here, and we'll be honored to treat for you. Or you can see one of us, like I said, afterwards. All right. So I'm going to pray us out. Reverend Joanne will bless us out. You want to come up here while I pray?
Okay.
Yeah. And then Victoria and Carl will sing us out. All right. Here we go. I am so grateful for everyone here today, everyone online, everyone in this room. I'm grateful for the wisdom of God as manifested through Reverend Joanne. Grateful for the teachers, the leaders, everyone involved in the service today. I'm going throughout my day with the attitude of gratitude. And so it is.
So it is.
And I'll leave you with a blessing. May you be at peace. May you know the beauty of your own true nature. May your heart be open. May you be healed. May you be blessed. Namaste.
Why don't you guys all stand up? The song has a good groove to it. Feel free to dance around if you want. Yeah. Well, we hear the wise folks say we create our own way. There are wonderful things happening every day. On this journey we all play, crafting lives with thoughts we sway. There are wonderful things happening every day. Oh, every day, every day, oh, every day, every day. There are wonderful things happening every day. Every day, every day, every day, every day. There are wonderful things happening every day. If you wish to rise and shine, let your thoughts be pure and fine. There are wonderful things happening every day. With our minds we design a life that's truly divine. There are wonderful things happening every day. Oh, every day, every day, yes, every day, every day. There are wonderful things happening every day. Oh, every day, every day, yeah, every day, every day. There are wonderful things happening every day. For the inner light, for the inner light is bright, guiding through both day and night. There are wonderful things happening every day. Speak of triumph, speak of feats, right, Brody? And show your deeds and spirits mean. There are wonderful things happening every day. Take it away, Carl. Yeah, when abundance fills the thought, just remember who you are. There are wonderful things happening every day. Our truth is wealth in plain sight. Within us, the light. Wonderful things happening every day. One more time. Oh, every day, yes, every day, every day. There are wonderful things happening every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. There are wonderful